Good morning, traders. Hope you're having a blessed morning. Getting here a little bit late, was doing some changes around. I'm going to be playing around with the script over here this morning. It's called swing trading. You can stick to your V4 if you want, or you can follow along with what's happening here. We have about 25 seconds to go before market open. I've seen a couple of things moving around. MLGO blew all the way up to, I believe, $19 in after hours yesterday. I don't know if any of you saw that or not. I know a few of you did. That was one of our market movers yesterday. Here we go. Let's see what happens. HPCO trying to make a move. Not seeing much progress up here this morning. Couple of bouncers. Let me go back to V4 here while this market's open. Let me find it right there. Now you're back to normal. I just wanted to see how that was going to respond at market open. We'll go back to it later this morning. CYTO, not moving very much. Wheeler, cheaper stock, 42.5 cents. Good morning to everybody on YouTube and on Discord. Glad you could join us this morning. If you're new here, we're waiting on this column right here. We're watching these numbers, these percentages rise as the price is rising. It lets us know anything that's moving in the market and pre-market, that is. If it moves the slightest, it's going to get a number. That one's moving up a little bit, a penny at a time. Now we're at 43.5 cents. This column over here is looking back 30 minutes into pre-market. So if anything moves during pre-market, if it's moving just a little bit, it's going to get a little score. If it's been moving a lot in pre-market, it's going to get a higher score as represented here in this column. This one's got a 11.38. It's jumping around there. I'll get it in a minute. So this one's looking for them and giving them a score. This one's telling us if there's buyers present. Here's another one moving here. This is MLGO making a move. We don't go looking for stocks. They all come to us. We get multiple choice sometimes in the morning, not just one stock called out when it's too late. We get to know the moment they start moving. Don't know if I would trust MLGO in pre-market this morning. It's probably needs to settle down from that rise to $19 during after hours yesterday. This could just be a lot of hopefuls saying, man, if it got to 19, it might get to 19 in pre-market. And it could, but not so far. Need to give a little bit more room down here. When you get to squishing it too much, it's not as accurate as visually as it should be. So I try to open it up a little bit and make it more understandable. You can see the buyers are outnumbering the sellers. This is a volume. It's just in line format instead of bars going up and down. This lets you know if there's more buyers or more sellers, who's in charge, and it's real time, as real as we can get it. So you want to pay attention to the very end of these lines. These are buyers and sellers. You can see the sellers are dominating and the price is coming down, and we have a red arrow. Well, I hope everyone's doing well this morning. Maybe the Lord will bless us with a good stock. We've had the last 2 days haven't been so good. Looks like we have more movers this morning than yesterday. The MLGO, it's doing the same thing it did yesterday. Just when you think it's going to go lay flat somewhere, it jumps up. So it could trap you. Be careful. It is pretty volatile with people coming in and coming out. No one really knows which direction it's going to head. They all anticipate, jump in, and then the next thing you know, it's pulling back. Just like that. So be careful with it. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so we can get the bigger picture. You can see what's been happening. A bump up and a drastic pullback. Bump up, pull back. So don't just jump in because it's moving. It could trap you. It's looking good down here on the dominator. But as I said, volatility in this stock is strong. So do you or don't you? I'm going to leave that to you this morning. I'm not going to say, here's your entry on MLGO. I don't want to be responsible for the downfall if it happens. It's looking strong. You want to gamble, that's your problem. Looks like everybody wants it to go back up to 19. Like, you're not leaving me out. I missed it yesterday in after hours. I'm not missing it this morning. I bet you that's what they're thinking. And they could drive it up. There could be enough anxiety in there to just, all right, I'm getting in. I'm missing out. I'm getting in. Let's see if they get hit by the big red candle here. Looks like a lot of buyers on MLGO. The sellers are kind of just laying back here, starting to go flat now. Guess they're scared to short it. Mine does say none to borrow. Yours may say something different. The spread is still low. I guess the algorithms don't pick up on the pump up right now. Nice strong indication that it's rising. This one's on y'all. I'm not going to call it out. I know how volatile it is. HTB is hard to borrow. Mine says none to borrow. They're never the same from one person to the next. I think that's to keep everyone from shorting it at the same time. So they give us all different signals. So this was probably the excitement from pre-market open. It'll probably pull back, settle in somewhere. Might even get a pullback play on it now, that it's not so volatile. We'll see if it pulls back far enough or if it's just going to sit there. Seeing the sellers slacking off down here. Buyers are still right there waiting for them to slack off. Not much of a pullback. The buyers are really in there strong. They want to drive it up. It may go to $22, $25. Who knows? But do you want to chance it? It's up to you. This is how good these indicators are. You notice it put us on it right as soon as it started moving this morning. There was no delay. Here we go. We're going to run. And it ran. They did make it up to that $19 as you see here. So those who missed it yesterday, they got their piece. I'm glad they did. Not so happy I didn't get in it, but I didn't feel like I had to risk the money for some reason. I know how volatile it can be. I guess better safe to wait for the pullback, as I always try to do. Spread is all over the place now. I guess that's how they're slowing it down. The algo's finally caught up to it. Thank you for the excitement this morning, MLGO. Cheaper stock here, CYN, penny stock. Doing the temptation thing, it did have a pullback. I was watching MLGO. This was the pullback here on this level and this level. And then it bounces right back up to this level, as it most of the time does. So we missed the pullback on that one. I'm still watching MLGO. You can watch it right here. It's still pulling back without going to the chart. That one did break on through CYN. I'm not a penny stock player. I probably should have stayed on it for you guys. MLGO still looking good on the chart. They may go retest $19 here. I'm going to go ahead and put a resistance level here. That seems to be where it's at. If it breaks through resistance, it'll probably run up to 19. I'm watching the volume has died down. This is where you want to watch volume, is right here or down here. This is the current candle. We want to know that the volume is increasing with a high flow, not a number, but just a lot of volume coming through. Right now, it's a little bit moving and freezing and moving and freezing, so the buying has slacked off. If you're new here, I'll do a walkthrough about 6:30, introduce myself, and walk you through all of the indicators and what we got going on. And I appreciate you joining us this morning. So we were unable to hold resistance there. We're now down below it. Yes, Alf, it's a continuation play from yesterday. It did make it back to that 19 that it hit in after hours trading. It didn't hit that 19 till late after hours. It was probably around 6:30 or so. Of course, I done gave up on it earlier during the day. But who wants to sit here and wait for something to take off? Not me. You may want to. Yeah, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 my time. I'm Central. WIMI, 95-cent stock, moving up a little. So we got to get a pullback play here. There's the resistance level. When this candle closes, it'll be support if it's red. Looks like they're not going to give me a support. They're going to continue pushing it up a little further. I don't know, though. It's still resisting right there at 94 cents. A lot of tall wicks on the top. Buyers have overcome them, indicated down here by these volume lines. Going to come back down to retest 94 cents probably. Man, they're just all over the place this morning, aren't they? Big red, big green, big red, big green, can't make up their mind. Big tall wick on the top, them sellers are dominating. You can see them right here chasing these buyers down at the bottom. If you're new here, these are not moving averages. This is volume. I transform the bars into lines. That way we have a history over the length of the volume to determine where the buyers and the sellers stand. Who is dominant here? That's why it's called the dominator. We did pull back to test support here. Let's see if it can stay. This would be resistance, not a very much room to move here. If it breaks down below support, it's probably going to sell off a little bit more. If it bounces off the support, it's going to continue going up. Hard to predict these cheaper stocks. We do a good job at it, but it is kind of hard to predict them. Looks like we may break on through. Maybe from 98 to $1.05, who knows? Running right on up. You can't deny this pullback strategy. It works almost every time. Whenever you see a reversal after a run-up, put a resistance line there, wait for that next candle to close, and mark your support and wait for the bounce back up. It's that simple. Testing 98 cents as support. That's the level we just broke through. May run back up to here if it stays solid on 98 cents. Since it's such a cheap stock, I'm going to say it's probably pretty much running out of steam. And I always say that, so it'll make a liar out of me and run on up to $5. So 102 is resistance. Let's see if we can break through resistance up to the next level. Looks like we ran out of steam. I knew that was coming soon. Looks like MLGO has ran out of steam as well. So 1748 was pretty much the resistance level for this stock. You can see now the buyers and the sellers, they've pretty much given up on the battle. CYN could be making a bounce play here. Let's go ahead and mark resistance. This was the pullback right here on this candle, the red one. So we could go from 38 to 43. It's a cheap stock. It's hard to call these pennies because they're all over the place. If I haven't said it, support is always going to be your entry right after the red pullback. That's why we call this the pullback indicator. It lets me mark out support and resistance lines. It gives you these arrows that indicate there's an increase in volume in each candle that gets an arrow. If you're wondering why I don't have news up here, I don't watch the news. I watch the numbers. If the news is good, it's going to be reflected right here in this column. If it's bad, it's going to be reflected right here in this column. So I let everyone else interpret the news. And if they like the news and the stock takes off, I'll be notified right here. I'm not saying don't go watch the news. If that's part of your strategy, keep doing it. I just don't watch it. I watch numbers. I don't like jumping all over the place, being distracted. Hey, go look over here at the news or whatever you got to do. I guess if you're used to doing it, then stick with it. Me, I watch numbers. That's all I watch. I watch these numbers, and this volume number, and I watch the pullbacks over here. I'm so confident in this volume spike indicator, I trust it 100%. Actually, I trust almost everything up here 100%. Sometimes you nail it, and that's what I did, I think. Thank you guys for the kind comments. And if nobody told you they loved you this morning, I just did, so God bless you. Watching WIMI sell off here slightly. Waiting for the next volume spike. So each morning we come here and we drink our coffee, kick back, don't stress over the market. We let stocks come to us. We watch for volume spikes like this, and we make money. It's a beautiful thing. We're playing between that 98 and $1.02. No big winner there. It's just a cheaper stock bouncing around. MLGO probably still pulling back, and it is. You can see the volume has given up. So down here is low volume, up here is high. Volume is slacking off. I'm going to let this market calm down a little bit before I do the demonstration. Because every time I start it, one takes off and then I got to stop. It's happened the last 2 days in a row. I'll give it about 6:35 and then we'll go ahead and walk through it. CYN, cheaper stock, may be bouncing off of one of these levels we've already set. I think the only people that's going to buy here now would be the latecomers that really don't know what they're doing. I know that's tough love there, but that's what I see. That is a swing play right here because it's been bouncing off of support down here. So it could go from 1584 to 1748. I don't like that it sold off for this many candles. That means the people are kind of gone. They gradually sold off and got out of it. Still got movement this morning. I'm not going to start that intro yet. Let's see what's happening here. That's WIMI still bouncing between the lines. And we got this one here, ANX. I'm looking at volume. My eyes go from here to here. If there's nothing moving here, I'm not interested. WIMI did do the breakthrough. Hard to predict these cheaper stocks. I'll let you know ahead of time. You can tell what's happening here. Just a big bump up and then a pullback. Hard to play them unless you just get in with small share size and just ride it out and be willing to accept your loss when you get it or your win. I don't buy them. I like stocks between $5 and $50. I'll buy the $2 and $3 ones if they're running smoothly on their transition to a higher level. But when they're choppy and volatile, I kind of tend to stay away from them. Well, I'm going to throw money at it. It's going to be a for sure deal. It's got to meet my strategy. If it doesn't meet the strategy, I may miss some money, but at least I didn't lose any. Nice, strong support level here, resistance. It's going to break through, I'm sure. I'm watching the buyers here. That's how I'm walking you through this. The sellers are now coming up and bringing it back down. Back down to support at $1.02. Not enough to worry about. $1.05 or $1.02 to $1.08. All right, I'm going to take this opportunity to walk you through what I got going on here. I am Ricky Gaspard. I'm a guy who trades from his home office. Been trading since 1990. I'm also a ThinkScript coder, and I write my own scripts. You won't find these scripts anywhere but here on our Discord, because I'm the one who created them. This one was the first one, the volume spike indicator, and I just figured out a way to track buyers and sellers by programming positive and negative volume. If the price is going up and the volume is increasing, I call it buyers. If the volume's going up and the price is decreasing, I call it sellers. So I broke the volume down just like that, and that's what you see here. This one is 1.64% bullish, so it's barely moving up. You can see that tiny little candle there. And this one's going down, of course, and this one's going down. So once this indicator was born, this one really helped us out to be able to key in on the turnarounds and the big increases in price right when they were happening, or the great drop in price as well. I took this code and I converted it into some labels for bullish and bearish. You'll see that up here. So it's watching this candle. It's currently bearish. If it were bullish like this one, it would say bullish up here. These are moving averages that I coded into this setup. So when you see the 5 and the 13 moving average, this one I manually inserted. It's the 34. These come with the setup, the 5 and the 13. You get a crossover, and you get these green arrows popping in. Let's go to MLGO. I can explain that to you a lot better right here. So we get a spike. We click on the stock. We wait for the crossover of the 5 and 13, which are these two lines. We see these arrows coming in. Those are spike arrows. They're there to let you know the volume is increasing in those candles. The stock will run right on up as we watch it, and we make our decision to get out on support and resistance levels, or get out when you're in profit. You can get out anytime. I don't know how many shares you're buying. If you bought 10,000, you may only want a nickel. So it's up to you to make the exit. I'll make the entry level price. I'll say this is where the support is. That's where you base your decision on buying or selling, and run it up to the next level. This indicator here was born out of this one. This one is looking back 30 minutes for any stock that's been moving in pre-market or during the day. It works 24 hours a day, as long as the market's open, that is. If a stock is moving just the slightest, it's going to get a number, a low number. If it's barely moving, the more the buyers are into it or the sellers, the higher the number it's going to get. You can watch them actually crawl up the ladder, and you'll be able to tell which stock is fixing to explode. I created this up indicator. This one is a pullback indicator, and it's watching for red candles to happen. Then it sees a green one and lets you know there's a green candle. It may be turning around, and I did have an up here. It just disappeared. But you'll see this up signal after a pullback, and the price is turning around. Over here, I took the volume label. This is the entire volume of this stock. This is the pre-market volume. This is the current candle right here. When I watch this volume spike, I like to see this volume exploding on the current candle. That tells me there's lots of buyers or sellers have come in. If this number's not moving with a high flow, I'm not interested in buying it. I'm very strict on these policies, on this strategy, because if you're strict on yourself, you don't lose money. Let the strategy set up. A spike, we have a number. High volume, we have a crossover. It's bullish, there's buyers, enter. And you'll be able to see this real quick. It's not like you're going to have to go to each indicator. Just out the corner of your eye, you can see that green label and an orange one and a red one down here. Once you do this over and over and over, it becomes natural. You're not even having to worry about looking around. You already know what to expect once you get used to doing it. This volume down here was the entire volume, so I broke it down. How many buyers or how many sellers is in the overall volume and who's dominating? Well, this worked out fine, but I couldn't keep calculating in my brain. Were there more buyers over the last hour, or were there more sellers? So I converted volume into a line format. So now I can see over time where the buyers and sellers were. These are not moving averages. They're counting the volume, just like these are counting the volume. And I can see a history of the buyers and sellers to help me make a decision if I want to get in or get out. As long as this green line is above the red and the angle, the steeper the angle, that's the more the volume is increasing, would be the steeper the angle, the more chance you have of this stock rising faster. This was a slow rise, but you can see the buyers were dominant over the sellers all the way through it up to this point. Then it started laying flat. And that's pretty much how this setup works. So as a fair warning, never trade off my screen. I mean, I'm delayed sometimes as much as a minute or two. We've seen 10 minutes even, and I've had to reboot the system. I try to avoid that, but it's not on my end. So never trade off of my screen. Always get set up on your own computer with these indicators. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I'll put the link in the description. There's my YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. I'm giving away all of this stuff. All I ask is that you watch the videos, watch the commercials, click the like button, leave a comment on my videos, let YouTube know what kind of a job I'm doing. It also lets me know what kind of a job I'm doing, and if you like the content I'm putting out. Beneath each video in the description, you'll find a link to our Discord. That's where you're going to find all of these scripts. You're going to find all of the investors over there. I think there's 2,500 of them or more. And it's growing by 40 to 60 per day. So if you're not a member of our Discord, I'll put the link down here in the chat. Sign up to our Discord, and the first thing you want to do is head over to Start Here. It's going to instruct you where everything is. They're just clickable links. This is this room. This is that room. These are the files. If you don't know how to install indicators like this, head over to our how-to videos. I've got several videos up there. I think I got enough up there to get you going. It'll walk you through installing scripts, labels, and indicators. If you have trouble installing them, head over to support, leave a message in support. Do not direct message me your support questions. I may be busy and can't get to them. You can request me as a friend. I will respond, but let's try not to tie up my direct messages with support. There's other people here that will also help you, and it kind of limits my schedule a little bit, gives me more time to do what I need to do. So over on our Discord, once you're set up, visit our trading floor where we have Gregster and River Place Dad doing their due diligence on stocks, and they post them throughout the day. I even join them on occasion and post a few of my own. Yesterday I was testing a script that was my last one. It was been sitting on the back burner for a while, and I wanted to be completely caught up with coding so I can take some time off, so I finished that script. And it's swing trading. I've been working on it for a long time. It's hard to program swing trading because you don't know where the ups and downs are. Of course, you can see the ups and downs, but are they true ups and downs? That's what you have to figure out. So I'll hang on to that one for a couple of weeks, and then I'll put it out there. I'll just be testing it on the side. So I thank you for joining us this morning. Visit our Discord. Also visit our options trading room where we have It's Me Bob. He's the king of options over there. Reach out to him. Let him know who you are. He'll help you when he gets time. If he doesn't respond, he'll be trading. He also holds a live stream like I do on occasion when he has enough people participating. And he'll take you a little bit deeper into options. I have several other volunteers that would like to get into teaching. One of them reached out to me yesterday. I'm still waiting for him to respond. If you have knowledge of the market and you're familiar with these indicators that I created and you want to help us teach, jump in there. Let's get this thing going. Let's help all these struggling investors out. Keep them into profit. You can see as of our little display this morning, we know what's happening in the market. I haven't made a few dollars yet. Some of you could have. I probably talked you out of MLGO, but just because of the volatility is why I had that attitude towards it. You may get a play on it later today when things calm down. That was the morning rush of pre-market that you saw on MLGO. It was hard to predict if it was just going to drop or go up. And of course, I didn't buy it. And when I don't buy it, you should, because it went up. That's just a joke. Don't take that seriously, because sure enough, if I say it's going down, it might. So thank you for joining us this morning. And as always, happy trading and God bless you while we wait on this next one. Thank you, Alf. Appreciate you being here this morning. It has definitely calmed down now. Our next opportunity to get a stock play is going to be near 7 o'clock. At the top of the hours when most news comes out, I have seen it come out on the half hour as well, but not very often. So around 7 o'clock, if there's something good coming out or if there's anticipation of good news coming out, we'll see it happen right up here. They'll start moving the stock. We'll know. Kenny, if I go get my coffee first, you can buy the stock that's going up while I'm getting my coffee and then sell it when you hear me coming back. And then you won't mind going to buy a cup of coffee. Every time I take a break, I come back and somebody says, look what you missed. So sometimes you'll hear me say it's going to go up. I know it's going to go up and it'll go down. And you'll hear me say it's going to go down. It's hit resistance and it'll go up. You can't predict the market. That's the honest truth. We have a really good idea now, though, which direction it's going to head. All right, Robert. What's popping up on my screen? That's the whole point. Try to cut down on guessing. Stick to a strategy. I love the pullback strategy, and I'm sure 90% of y'all do as well, because you've seen me do it over and over and over successfully. Every time we do a support and resistance call out and we have good volume and the price level is where we need it, it almost works every time. I'm going to say over the last 4 months, maybe out of 20 or 30 stocks, we may have missed 4 or 5. And that's really good. So hang around here every morning. Come watch these pre-market live streams, drink your coffee, make some money with us. I'll walk you through everything every day. You'll hear me repeating it over and over and over. Just ask my wife. She's heard enough of it. But if you keep repeating it, it's like singing the same song every day. You learn all the words. You'll learn all the strategy as well. It's not hard. I've simplified it. Just participate and you learn. I bet my wife can repeat that demo. She probably don't want to, but I bet she can. Patiently waiting. I'm going to flip over to that swing trade. Just to take a look at WIMI, let's see what MLGO would have looked like on it. So this was yesterday. Was a nice entry signal here. I probably need to adjust it to where it only gives us an entry if the price is above the 34. But that may take the swing out of it. If I do that little setting, if the price is above, then give us an up arrow. If the price is below, then give us a down arrow. That will avoid getting false signals above and below the 34 EMA. CYN, it's not on my radar. I'll type it in here. See what's happening? Yeah, we played it once this morning already, it looks like. It's bouncing around. It's a cheaper stock. I'll go back and play with this later today. Let's go back to the V4. Pastor, it is, but that's really not a good way to play it. Because when you get into a situation like this, you're going to get multiple crossovers and you're going to get arrows below and above, and there's just going to be a whole lot of arrows everywhere if I try to do that. Nice run up here on this penny stock. Looks like the news must have come out or something. It is pumping up, or they're pumping it up before 7 o'clock. That was a nice run there from 44 cents all the way up to 60. Yeah, trading pennies, I've been working on it for a long time, because just when you think you got it figured out, you don't. I'm really close now, though. Really close. Swing trading is very hard to program. Raphael, yes, they are fine-tuned. If you were here, you notice I don't put them out. I'll put them up here to let everybody watch as I'm working on tuning them in. Just because you wrote a script don't mean it's right. You have to watch it for weeks on end. And you'll figure out, why did it do that? Or I like that it did this. And you got to get the why did it did that's out of there. Good job, Raphael. Guess we better get to the end of the day if we're going to play, right? I think Mara made some good moves yesterday. Am I correct? I didn't play it. I had things I had to do after I got out of the live stream. But I think I looked at it when I got back. It's going fine. I just had to meet with the engineers. I've got 2 big projects coming up. I'm seriously thinking on retiring. Of course, I am retired. I'm 90% retired. That's why I sit here all day. But maybe just ending it for good after these 2 projects. Be a nice little bump to my retirement. Oh, I forgot to mention our Patreon members. Thank you guys very much for joining Patreon. I don't charge anything for this channel, but if you're into the money and I've proven myself to you and you're happy with your progress in trading and you feel like donating to help me keep this going, head on over to our Patreon. There's a link on Discord. There's several options if you want to donate to the cause. Pays for a little bit of my time, pays for the YouTube and the upgrades to Discord. I'm going to continue getting this out there. Everybody loves it. I even love it myself. It's been a real blast to be able to train everyone and meet new people, have coffee with them, and to bless them and to show them where the money is, even in the hard times. I know the market's been up for the last couple months. That's what they say. But look at the bigger picture. A couple of months isn't going to help a couple of years of downfall. So don't send me a message. What do you mean the market's down and it sucks? Well, that's what I mean. You don't think it sucks? Wait till we get rid of this president. You'll see how good the market can be. See you later, Raphael. God bless you, brother. We're in a quiet zone right now. A few numbers popping up here. They don't have a score yet, so they're really not worth watching. We can click on one and see. but there's no activity there. About 30 seconds to go. Hopefully some news will come out and we'll get a play here, so be ready. Looks like CYN may be one that's going to go bullish. I'm hoping for a new one in the $3 or $4 or $5 or $6 or $7 or $8 range. You can see the market woke up a little bit when we hit 7 o'clock. Takes them a couple minutes to absorb the news if news came out at 7. So about 7:02 or 3, somebody will read the headlines. And if it's good, it'll show up right here. It may just pop into the first row right there, explosive breakout. We've seen that happen. Thank you, role playing. Andy, in order for it to get a score, if you think about it in pre-market, many stocks are not trading. They don't have volume. So if they were moving around the day before, they may have volume in pre-market the next day, which just like MLGO. So when they go from no volume to a little bit of volume, they get a little bit of score. As the volume increases, as the buyers start coming in or the sellers, and the volume starts rising, this number will go up. When they're really buying into it or selling it off, it'll climb to the top of the list with a higher number. That's what this MOMO means, momentum. So as it's gaining momentum, it's going to rise. You can see these are falling. Oh, I missed it. There's the big fall. So this almost looks like a pump and dump, so be careful here. I'll mark that one out. There's the resistance way down, the support way down here. It could bounce from 386 back to 518, but it looks like a pump and dump to me. And just sure as I said that, it'll probably go to 513. I would not call this a pullback. Because it hasn't established a footing yet. This may have been good news, and then everybody else didn't think it was, and it sold right off. It could also be that. So this was probably anticipation of good news, and this is when the news came out. Well, we had MLGO take off for a couple dollars a share. I didn't trust it. It was jumping around too volatile for me. I like to buy large lot sizes, and that when they're jumping volatility like that, I don't want to throw a lot of money at them. I don't think anybody trusted it this morning. It was kind of up and down. That was the only big one. I don't believe this one's going anywhere. So we're watching both of these watch lists. Okay, this one is the pre-market scan. It just refreshed. Let me make sure nothing pops up here, and I don't see nothing. This one is the all stock scan. All it is a price with the volume sorted by descending. No filters, no nothing. It's wide open to the market. I think I've got it set at like $1 to unlimited maximum. So it's watching the entire market down here. It's watching pre-market up here. Here's MLGO. It must have heard me mention its name. It's making a move. DARE, not on my radar. It's on yours. That's why we do this as a team. That doesn't look good either. It looks like that one that bounced up and sold off. I know through the years I've seen quite a few people being trapped in DARE and can't get out of it. It dies flat like this, and you get caught holding the bag and can't get out. So DARE's not a good one to jump in unless you're only in for a few minutes. All right, MLGO, not doing anything. I'm going to take a look at that swing script and see what it's doing real quick. So I did program it to don't give me an up arrow unless it's above the 34. And don't give me a down arrow unless it breaks below the 34. So since we're channeling between these two moving averages, through these two levels, we're going to get some downs and some ups and some downs and some ups until it stabilizes and starts moving in one direction or the other. That's a good indication there. And this one's not so good. That didn't look so good. Mara. Go back over to the beginning. See, this is what you have to watch for. Why did I not get an arrow here? OT, it's kind of like reversals. So a stock is rising and it reverses and you get an arrow down and the price goes down, but it doesn't go down all the way, so to speak, and it reverses and starts going up. And I'm trying to place an arrow on those ups and downs, but I'm trying to place them when it's trending up or when it's trending down. Not just place an arrow because it's moving up or down, because we'll have arrows all over the place. So the price needs to be moving upwards. Rolling over for swing. Swing trading is kind of like this. You want to play the ups and downs. I'm very close on it. So if you're new here, we don't just play penny stocks. That just seems to be the only thing that's popping up. I don't have a price limit set on this. Actually, I do. It's 25 cents to unlimited. There's no maximum price. Occasionally, we'll see Tesla, Microsoft, AMD. They'll pop up here in the list if they're moving, but they don't typically trade in pre-market unless news comes out. So we're kind of wide open on the price range. If there's a 10 or 15 or 20 or $30 stock, if it's moving, it's still going to pop up. Just that we don't have very many choices in the current pre-market. And the main thing that's been popping up has been penny stocks, stocks around $1. We did have one earlier that was around $3 or $4, but it didn't go anywhere. So you just have to be patient. We're not a penny stock company. We are an all stocks company. All stocks, see it right here. So during the day, they're going to be all kind of prices. CYNN. Why is it not on my radar? Maybe because I didn't refresh yet. CYNN. Uh-oh. CYN, not NN. Well, it's not on my radar because it's going downwards, right? So it's kind of all over the place, too. It's in a channel. It's bouncing between here and there. Another penny stock moving. So ALT was a mover yesterday. We could get a play out of this one today as well. Let's zoom out and see what it did. So we were up in pre-market before our market opened. Yesterday we had a pretty good move on it, I believe. We did. Several times it moved. So that was yesterday from 650 to 750. So we could see something out of it today. It is down here now with this very small volume spike. Yes, VFD, I see you typing. And I appreciate you calling them out because our scans don't all refresh at the same time. Let's get this pullback here. This should be a good one. Need this red candle to close. That's where I'm going to mark support right there. We should get a bounce back up to 370. Let's see if it happens. You have to wait on confirmation. You don't just jump in at support. We need to see a candle start growing. It's okay if you miss a little bit of it at the bottom. It'll usually breaks through anyway. Just be patient. There we go. It's starting to move now. Look at the green line at the bottom. Not looking real strong. It should have ran up here. It still may do it. There we go. It's still trying. There we go. That was a nice bump up. Looking really good. It did make it. It worked again. You should have got out right here. The play is between the lines. Your entry is whenever you feel confident down here. And here's what I said. It usually breaks through a little, so don't worry about losing a little bit here on the bottom. Still going. Nice play right here from 315 to 370, 384, let's say. Probably wouldn't have caught it all, but you could have caught about 40 cents right here on this run. Good job, Dusty. Good job, Michael. So when you come here every morning, you'll see me do this call out over and over and over. And you can ask anybody in this chat, does it work? They will verify it works a lot more than it fails. If I were to guess at a percentage of it being correct, it's in the 80 to 90% range. And if you do pull down to support and it does not go up and you got in, just cut your losses quick and move on to the next one. We don't hang on for a recovery or you lose more money. Get out. I don't care if you waste a trade. Get out. At least you don't have to make up $200 or $300 or $500. OT, we don't refresh. It's automatic. You're welcome, Robert. So we're here in a group. So that's, to me, that's ThinkorSwim's only downfall is the scans don't refresh. They're not live, in other words. They refresh every 5 minutes. But if we're all here in a group, we all refresh at different times. So if it's not on my screen and it pops up on your screen, post it in the chat. And as soon as I see it, I'll type it in. because your scan may refresh before mine. And that way, this delay of 5 minutes doesn't affect us. We're all here as a team watching the same scan, which are refreshing on different times for each one of us. So it really shouldn't affect us. We should be able to catch all of the stocks as they're moving. So that was actually a 7:15 play, not necessarily news. It was a volatility play, I believe. So who called that out? You deserve credit. Michael Chapman. Thank you for posting that, Michael. You are today's stock pick winner. That's what I'm talking about. His scan refreshed before ours or mine. It wasn't on my radar. You heard me say I don't see it, so I typed it in and was able to get some profit off of it. So as a team, we can move mountains. Michael, thank you for being a part of the team. It just shows that everything works and that you're a really good stock picker. And we appreciate your participation. Michael, your stock's still going up. Now you did good if you played the swing on it right here. This support and resistance levels, you did good. We never hang on and hope that it's going to go more. Because right behind this profit, you would have lost it all, and then you would have been probably getting out. And then when you got out, of course, they always go up. And you see the story I'm telling. So grab yours when we can play this pullback. Grab it and don't worry about missing the rest. Just buy more shares down here, and you'll make more money in a safer play than guessing if it's going to continue. GMBL. I don't have it on mine unless I'm just blind, and I am blind. Yeah, that one's not working out so hot yet. It's just kind of laying flat. That's why it wasn't on mine. Martina, I know the feeling. Good job, Sonia. Well, I think I brought fun back into the market. It was quite depressing for a while. Kind of like I can't wait for morning to come each day now. I don't even care about market open anymore. Of course, I do sit here for quite some time. I did yesterday. But I think pre-market's where the money currently is. It may change later. But pre-market's been very good to us. Seems like after 9 o'clock or 9:15, somewhere between 9 and 9:30, the market dies. There's hardly any volume. The stocks still pop up here in our watch list, but very few. Sonia, I haven't modified it. Sonia, are you sorted by momentum? By clicking the name momentum, and maybe the ups will come up? Yes. I just click on the name and the watch list. You see what I'm doing up there, and it'll sort them, and just click on it till they come to the top. This momentum is very important. Very important. It's doing a lot of searching for you. And what's good is that market open, we have a momentum set up where it's looking 50 minutes back. And that's very powerful as well. We have some very good scans. It's getting to the point where I don't know which one I need to watch the most. It's kind of like I need 30 monitors or something. I don't know. I think I would need a supercomputer to keep up with it, even if I had that many monitors. That's some really good tools working. Yeah, it's a battle between the 50 and the high flyers. So if you just open them all up, make little columns on a monitor, you don't have to have all of these indicators up there. Just put the Momo and the spike and the symbol and the price, and narrow your columns. You could probably list all of the scans side by side, because you don't really need all of this. You're just waiting for the spike. So you can narrow the columns as much as possible, shorten the names, squish the columns together, and just wait for spikes on one monitor with all of the scans. Frank, I put all emphasis on volume spike. This is what keys us off right here. This is the beginning. So we're watching for increases in percentages. Once we see that increase, we already know it has a score because it's going to have this momentum number beside it, just like that. Once we're in the trade, that's when I start monitoring this. So let's say I got in here. Now I'm watching these two lines. So once I'm in the trade, I'm not so much worried about the green one as I don't want the red one to come up. The red one is the sellers, just like that. I start watching red after I'm in a trade. Because I don't want to get faked out with a dip and lose my money or lose some profit. You can see the sellers are way down here. You can see the angle is turning up. So do I get out? Probably. So it's all an angle thing. This one's pretty volatile. They're usually not this jumpy. I don't get in just because red is above green. I still focus on pullbacks. If I were to just jump in because red was above green, that I'm guessing, and it's a good guess probably, but it could be a failed guess as well. So if we get a spike, we have a spike number. It's rolling up the ladder. We have high volume. We get a pullback. That's almost guaranteed money. But just buying because green cross red is a gamble. You do want green above red. This is after you're in the trade, okay? So you got in on pullback. Now you're watching here. Now, to be honest, we're still all learning this. It's not even an indicator. And a lot of people look at it as an indicator. It's volume. It's nothing more than watching volume bars in a different way. There's no special coding in this dominator script. It's only plotting volume in a line. That's all I've done. No trickery, no special codes to make it work like this. It's just counting volume. So there may be multiple ways to play this. It's not a script that I coded and I know all about it. It's how is volume responding? Without special scripts, without coding. It's just volume. So instead of trying to figure out the bars, and they did a good job with the half green and half red or 80% green. They did an excellent job with that. I think this really nailed it right here. Because you can't look back through all them bars and make this decision. So no trickery, real volume in line format. So what was the stock here? SVFD. So what's happening is the volume is increasing on both lines, okay? The sellers are stronger than the buyers, but yet the price is moving up because both lines are moving up. So they're having this battle all the way up. the number of shares sold is higher than the number of shares bought. So it's actually what it's telling you is weakness. So you have to remember this angle doesn't represent this angle. So the sellers are outnumbering and the sellers are driving it down. Then right here, the buyers come back in to this point and drive it up a little bit. Then the sellers came back in and this line rose and pulled it back down. So this doesn't represent this movement. This is volume, remember? So we have a red candle here. We have the red above the green. Then the buyers step in and start buying it, and it brings it up a little. Then the sellers came in and started more than the buyers and drove it back down. Then the buyers came in with a steeper angle and drove it back up. So it's not that green is over red. This doesn't determine the direction of the price. This is increase and decrease in volume. I hope I made sense out of that. So because red is above green doesn't mean the price has to come down. That's why I say we're looking at the very end of these lines. So if this is pointing up and the red is above it, but yet the green is pointing up, it's going to move up. It can be confusing, I agree. You'll even see the reverse of this. You'll see green above red and the price falling, because these lines do not indicate price direction. They're only measures of volume. It could be, Picker. It very well could be. We've had this indicator down here probably 2 weeks, I believe, or going on 2 weeks. Or maybe it's 2 weeks and 3 days, I don't remember. The more we watch how it responds to what's happening up here, the more we learn how to use it. Since it's not something I programmed to work a certain way, we all have to learn it. There's no special coding, it's just volume. Yeah, WBI was moving yesterday. I'll put it up here. Could be getting a pullback right here on W buy. If that red candle closes here, now this would be the third pullback, so not trusting this third one, okay? So there it is. So this would be your entry, but I don't like trusting 3 pullbacks in a row. So it may be a weak one coming back up. That's what I mean by weak. The first 2 pullbacks are good. The third one, not really trustworthy. Now it can work, but I just think 3 is pushing it out there too far. You can see our list is getting longer now. There's a few more stocks moving in pre-market. So the list is longer, getting even longer. Good morning, Dippy. Patiently waiting on the next volume spike to take off. We're watching these 2 watch lists. If you're new here, I'll be taking a 10-minute break around 8 o'clock, and when I return about 8:25, we will set up for market open. I will end the stream at 9:30 Central Time. So 8 o'clock break time, 8:25 set up for pre-market. Market open. And wait on the spike to occur until then. So if I didn't use the 34, since we're scalping, we need quick movement. We need quick price. We need moving averages to move fast. So that's why we have the 5 and the 13. We need a trend indicator. And a moving average is a good trend indicator. A lot of people use the 200 or the 100 or the 50. But I find the 34 sets a good trend for day trading. So we can see it's trending up. I mean, you could even use the 21 here if you wanted it to notify you a little faster, because you see the price did pull down before the moving average started rolling over. So if you made this to 21, it may notify you about this area instead of this one. So overall, I'm just kind of looking at it as, is it angled up, to determine if it's going to trend up, even if it's for a short period of time. Because the 100 and the 50 or the 200 is not going to do me any good if it's down here off screen, barely moving up. CAUD, very low volume. You see this last bar is only 13,000 shares. Look at it this way. I'm a large share size purchaser, so if I bought 5,000 shares of this stock, I'm one of 3 people that bought this stock, because there's only 13,000 shares traded. And this volume is not moving. So why would you throw money at something that's doesn't have a lot of buyers? And there's people out there that buy more shares than me. Somebody could have bought 10,000 shares right here and be one of 2 people. That's why we like high volume flow. I know it looks good and it looks like a pullback. But what if one guy sold 10,000 shares on low volume? And you're stuck holding the bag. I'm not saying you won't make money at it. I'm just telling you about the risk that you're facing. Good morning, Flyboys. Got to keep the risk very low when you're day trading. Stick with what works, even if you miss some money. You're going to miss money. It's the stock market. Stick with what you know that works. It's better to have 1 or 2 excellent trades than 5 or 6 and half of them were wrong. That's why sometimes you'll hear me say, if they're not in this list, I'm not interested, because I know the volume's not high enough. And I've already checked several of them this morning. The volume wasn't high enough. But there are going to be some stocks where you refresh before me, the volume is high enough, but they're not in my list, but they're in yours. Those are the ones I want you to post that have high volume. Not just because it's moving. When you're looking at it, look at this current volume bar. If it's really flying, that's when you want to post it. SVFD. I'm seeing a lot of candle wicks on the top. These are sellers driving the price back down. This is showing weakness. You can see that weakness right here. You're going to have creepers like this that just barely move and have tall wicks on the top. Them are not your favorite plays, or they shouldn't be anyway. This is the play. It ran up. You didn't miss it. We're waiting on a pullback. So post them when they're high volume and they're running up, and we'll play the pullback. We don't chase green candles because that's when they're going to pull back when you push the buy button. That's the hardest temptation you'll have, is not buying that green candle. But it's also the safest one you'll have by not buying it and waiting on a pullback. Solo, we can break it down for you. You see the red lines going up here, but yet we have a green candle. So the sellers are increasing, correct? Lines going up. Those sellers are right here driving this stock down. They're right here driving this stock down. They're right here driving this stock down. Then you see the buyers step in, and the wicks start disappearing, and the buyers take over. So just because red is above green or green is above red, you have to focus on what this thing is telling you. It's not giving you, hey, there's more sellers, it's going to go down, or there's more buyers, it's going to go up. We're watching volume increasing only. So the sellers increased and the wicks came in to drive it back down. It's a learning curve. You'll get it eventually. I'm still trying to get it. I pretty much got it, but I'm still learning as well. And I was also confused. Hey, red's above green and it's going up. I asked myself the same question, and then I had to realize it's not an indicator. It's volume flow. Fly boys, if you do a search for widget launcher, it's made by Microsoft, you'll find it. And you have to have the launcher to get it, because that's what's going to keep it on the screen and the location you put it. So when you reboot, it'll appear right back where you put it. Widget launcher. Thank you, Dusty. Andy, I'm sure they all do, but it's kind of like the bid and the ask. I have a label for it, but it's at the top of the screen. But because it's lost in the trail of numbers up there on ThinkorSwim, I couldn't even see those red and green numbers because I have vision problems. But yeah, they all have a clock, but maybe they want a big one so they can see it. Maybe they want to stick it off on another monitor somewhere like I did. But that's why I did the bid and ask label, because I couldn't see those little tiny numbers right here on ThinkorSwim. I can see this. So I had to make my trading ADA compliant. I guess that's what you call it. My numbers are larger too. You probably don't know that, but these are on extra large, I believe. Curtis, I can walk you right through that. So watch on my screen. You see this gear icon that's here? Click on it. Go to time axis and uncheck this box here that says keep time zoom. Then go set up all of your charts like you want. Save it as a workspace. You do that by clicking setup and save workspace. Then come back to here, click that gear icon, go back to time axis and say keep it. And then apply it and click OK. And every time you change, reboot, it'll go right back to the same setup. So you have to uncheck time zoom, set it up like you like it, and go back and check time zoom and apply it. OT, try this one here, see if it works for you. I had to actually sign in to Discord this morning. I guess the programmer that I have is making some changes. We're trying to control the spammers. I don't know if it's possible or not because they're not even members. They log into us by hacking on the outside of the Discord servers, not our server directly. So they come in through Discord, they duplicate me or somebody else, claim to be me and try to sell you something. Don't fall for it. You know I don't sell anything. And I understand some of you are new and you get hit by a hacker for the first time, and I get the same question over and over and over. You can right-click their name and block them. And then he'll come back with a new name and you'll block them, and he'll come back with a new name and you'll block them. You get tired of fighting the battle. So just don't pay attention to them, click them off, block them, whatever you feel like doing. But it's kind of like rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. It's a sad situation when people got to steal for a living and do it feeling good about it. You've got the best deal anybody can give you for free right in front of you. I think they ought to teach this in the schools when the kids are young. Instead of teaching them about Mary Had a Little Lamb. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with this world. I guess, the Bible's right. It's going to end, and I can see why it's going to end. I can see why everyone's going to die. Life lessons. I think that's what we're going through is our life lesson right now. I agree, Kenny. But if financials were taught in schools, we wouldn't have the problem we have financially today. If we could keep politicians from printing money, we'd have inflation lower. It's all crooked, in my opinion. Oh, well, we're going to raise interest rates on you because the interest, something is too high, and that too high is they printed too much money. So now we got to pay it. It's rigged. I got to shut up or I'm going to get booted. I'm not supposed to go there. I'm sorry, YouTube. All right, back to stocks. I'm sorry I got sidetracked. I'll go beat my head on the sheetrock and get it out. I'm going to take a break here. I'll be back in 10 minutes. All right, I'm back. 5-star trading. No, I'm not selling anything. I'm right here. If they have you in a chat, how can I be there too? So when I search members, they don't show up even though they're in my name because they're not really logged in to our Discord server. They're hacked in, they're not logged in. So I can't track them, I can't search for them. Not enough volume to be really interested in it. I think the best thing we can do with these hackers, if you respond, they're going to continue coming here and doing it. If you don't respond and they get no results, they'll leave. I don't think it's multiple people. I think it's 1 or 2 people. And the reason I say that is they recreate the same name. That tells me it's the same person. Like Jonesy Trading or Up $2 or whatever name they create. It's always the same 3 names, it seems like. So it's probably 1 or 2 people. It could even be a subscriber. I've even thought about that. It could be somebody that's mad because I'm doing this for free. But they're not going to stop me. Just don't participate. Right-click their name when they direct message you and block them. That'll help us get out of the situation. We've done that, Martina. I've posted their scripts that they sent to somebody else. I've done that. But, you know, we get so many new subscribers every day. They don't know that we're being hacked. And so every day I get questions, is that you? And it's going to continue as long as we have a big flow of new subscribers that don't know about the hacker. So I have to keep repeating it. I have to keep putting the message out there so that everybody knows there's a hacker. You're welcome, Robert Watson. I don't know why Discord don't control them. And I tell you how I'm thinking. If I can figure how to get a platform similar to Discord, I'll buy a domain. I'll start my own. I'm good at website building. I've done that for years. If I have to, I'll create a website, put a platform on it, and we'll go do our partying over there. And the only thing different that I can't do that Discord has is the live streaming, but I'm doing it on YouTube. I don't necessarily have to do it on Discord. Everyone can participate on YouTube, and we still have a streaming service. I can do a chat forum on a website at a URL. I have no problem with that. If Discord doesn't get it together, I may consider doing that. And I won't have to pay Discord just because I want to put a picture on it. Or because I need to up my streaming services. I can eliminate a lot of costs if I go that route. There's other streaming services. I could probably, even if I had to pay for a good streaming service, it's probably going to be cheaper than all these additions and programmers I have to have for Discord. I mean, I'm already, including the last upgrade with you, which you guys helped pay for, we're up in the $4,000 range in 6 months. And that cost is going to repeat every year. It's until the end of the year, I believe. Then I got to come up with another $4,000. So it's not free to do this. Mike, I don't even have to do that. I own my own servers. I own my own websites. I don't have website fees. I paid to buy the domain name and renew the domain name. All of my space, all of my servers, all of my websites are free. That's how long I've been doing this. I don't pay a monthly fee to maintain a website. And I can have as many websites as I want on my server. I can put in as many hard drives as I need to for space. And I could probably just do open source. They have all kind of chat software, forums, and all of it's really good. The open source stuff is the way I like to lean. To keep it up to date for free. It's hard to get hacked into. We'll still have the streams every morning. And I have a nephew that is a Linux master. He's actually programming some of these website companies that you probably host your website on. I don't know if you remember Gator Hosting, but that was one of the companies he was behind. He's worked for NASA, programming all their computers and their websites and their interfaces. So our door is open whichever direction needs to be done, that's the direction we'll head. I just have to make sure that we keep a similar format. I don't want to throw another learning curve out there. It may even be simpler to click a link on the website than to figure out what Discord link to click on. If you wonder why I'm just jabbering and not clicking on your stock picks, because it's almost 8:30 and I know these things are going to sell off before market opens, so there's no sense in trying to buy into them at 8:20. Because they will sell off, they'll take profits so they don't lose them when the market opens, just in case the market gaps down. So I don't usually buy after 8 a.m. Oh, I won't leave you behind. I'd probably have both Discord running for a while and the website until I know everyone's transferred over. Hey, is there a way for somebody to see how many people are on the Discord stream? Does it give you a number of how many people are there? I think I found it. I think it says 50 people are on Discord. It says spectators 50. Yeah, I'm not talking about online. I'm talking about actually watching the stream. I found that number. It was 49 to 50 to 51. I'd really like to see if it breaks that 50 because I did pay for the upgrade to 300, and if more than 50 cannot log in, then I need to investigate what I paid for. It can't be maxed out if I paid for 300 and we only have 50 in there. You're saying 60. I'm watching the clock here. We're going to have to get back to stocks here real quick. All right, I'll investigate that later today and figure out what's going on, because it says 300 can watch the stream. And we paid almost 500 for that, so they need to make it happen. Hey, are you on the app or are you on the web browser? Jose, I'm trying not to have to pay for upgrades. If I do it myself, then it's better for all of us. I'm not worried about bandwidth. I can push out all we need. All right, let's change over to our scans here. We got about 4 minutes to go. I'm going to do the 50-minute look back scan over here. Get back to this trading so we can watch our market open. I'm going to put the high flyers on this one. The 50-minute, we're going to watch this the same way we were watching pre-market. They're going to get a score. You'll have a bigger list. So if you don't have this scan loaded, it's over on Discord and TOS scans. When market opens, we're going to concentrate on these top 3 or 4 up here. We want to really see this percentage kicking hard. And then when you click on it, you're going to see a big green candle at open. Don't chase the candle. I'll try to mark the pullbacks. If I'm not on the stock you want to watch, then you mark the pullbacks. And try to get a pullback play out of it. Don't chase the green one or you might get stung by the big red one right after. So volatility, the top 3 or 4. If I'm not on the stock that you want to see, then you watch the one you want to see and try to get a play off of it. Yeah, if we make the change, it's going to be to my server, not to somebody I got to pay. This stuff don't have to cost you very much. You only got to pay a lot when somebody wants to make a profit off of you. A friend financial website in 1990 with 800 people on it every day, continuously, never had an issue. So we got about a minute and a half to go here. Like I said, it's going to get very volatile. Don't chase green candles. Try to make a pullback play. About 30 seconds to go. Good luck to everyone, and don't just jump because it's green. Plan your money accordingly. Don't lose it. You want to gain some, not lose some. I'm going to be waiting. I know we probably should be watching, what is it, MLGO or whatever it is, but I'm going to stay away from it and wait for one to pop up. If it's going to move, it's going to show up here. I'm looking at W buy hopping around. So the SPY ran up just before market open. That seems to be slightly pulling back. I'm seeing a lot of red up here. You're not missing anything because we don't have any numbers growing and moving up. W buy is pulling back. I'll click on it for now. Now it's bullish. It was at the top, then it left the top, then it came back. So this is probably going to be a pretty strong run right here. I wouldn't chase it right now. It's a cheaper stock. It could just sell off. That's why you don't buy the first green candle, because now you're here in the hole. I wouldn't even call this a pullback. We didn't have a big enough run up. Big sell-off for W buy. That's a 30-cent drop right there, maybe more. Nothing happening up here in the top 3 or 4. Nothing exciting. What I'm waiting on is a good price stock that has high volume flow and the spike is going off. My scan just refreshed. Still nothing up here at the top. ERAS, cheaper stock. Moving pennies. I'm not interested in pennies. I want dimes and quarters and 50-cent pieces and dollars. Good morning, Island Man. DDD. Don't know what DDD is. See if we get a pullback out of it. It looks like we're going to. Hopefully it'll pull back down to here. Not much money in it. Maybe 12 cents. It's not really worth it. BNED moving up. Cheaper stock. This is 140. This is $1.45. Maybe worth a nickel on a pullback. Running up nice and strong. Soon as it stops and changes candles, we'll mark the top. Probably going to pull back here for some profit takers. Not going to mark the resistance unless we get a pullback. Be careful of a halt here. 10% of this stock would be about 15 cents. So when we get up to that 15-cent range, if we get there too fast, they're going to halt it. Let's see if this is the pullback or just some profit takers. It looked like a few profit takers. Yeah, not trustworthy on this one. Not a strong pullback, just going to float sideways. That'll probably be resistance there. Are getting a pullback now. Let's see where it ends up. It should be coming down here somewhere. There we are. That candle closes there. We might get a bounce up for a nickel. Not really worth it. So that one's pretty much over. That DDD is still bumping that resistance. ETNB, very low volume, 23,000 and 5,000. Not very many good stock plays at market open. Here's a $14 stock, GME. We missed the pullback on it. The pullback would have been here. But it can run up, come back down and retest for another run up. So we'll hang on and watch it for a minute. See a red candle on the SPY. See some green candles at market open, but no follow throughs. They're all selling off and are running into resistance. We don't have any strong ones in the 1 through 4 position up here. Here's SVFD running up. We may can get a pullback on this one. Looks like it may have gone into a halt, and it did. Good thing we didn't get caught in that trap. Was anybody in it that got caught in the halt? Yeah, it looks like MLGO is in a halt as well. So MLGO and SVFD are halted. Here's ALT. This one was moving in pre-market at the beginning of pre-market. I said it may be a good one to watch. It did pull back at market open. Now it's running up. Maybe we can get a pullback play on it. So ALT is here in the high flyers. That means we're probably going to get some short red candles before the next taller green candle. Just like this here, that's when they're in this list, this is pretty much how they respond. Short red candles before the next taller green. So your entry would be on the red candles, not on the green ones. Nice run up here on ALT, waiting for a pullback. Looks like we're going to continue up. It is a strong run, and it's at lower volume, so it may not halt. It may just keep on going. Looking good on the volume lines, which the red line would drop down a little. There we go. Drop down red. Do have some sellers keep popping in right here. We do have nice volume on this stock, 214,000 on that last candle. There's that short red one I said we'd probably get. So wherever the bottom of this is would be an entry level, providing it turns back green afterwards. This is really not a pullback, it's just profit takers. So your entry would have been here, and it's probably going to run up now. There goes the continuation. Not looking bad down here. We are getting some separation between the lines. The sellers are starting to give up. Short red candle. SVFD. Nice bump up on SVFD. This volume spike has to be the best scanner out there. We're watching all of the stocks that are moving up, not just one going off on a service you have to pay for. But we've watched two halts. We watched ALT make a run up. It's like we're watching the top movers. Don't like this big green pullback here. This wick is sellers, remember that. We could come down. Hopefully get a nice pullback out of it. SVFD is holding its price here at this level. It could be setting up for another pullback. I'm going to go ahead and mark it out. If we get half of this candle, which we probably did already right there, if we can get a reversal here, it's going to run up higher. I'm not liking this pullback right up here. Not pullback, but these sellers coming in. I don't like this tall wick. That tells me most of the time that the run is over. We could get the pullback. It's still acting as support at this level. I don't know that I would chance it since we had this big wick here. That was a pretty demanding sell wick. Did give us the pullback. So the pullback worked again, but it did not hold. Are we going to get another attempt at it here? May go up and retest 632 again. There's that 632 retest. You can see the volatility in the market is dying down. We don't have hardly any spikes. We may get a wave or two come back through and then disappear. We are going to retest it again, 632. That's a tight profit area right there. Probably not worth investing into it unless it breaks through 632 and comes down and retests it as support. Otherwise, you could get stuck right here with just a few pennies gained. SVFD is supporting this price level. We could get a breakthrough. It's channeling right now. Channeling, squeezing, consolidating, whichever word you want to use, that's what's happening here. The question is it going to break out to the upside or is it going to break out to the downside? That's what you have to watch for. So ALT needs to come back down and retest 731. Needs to round over, come back down, and then bounce up. Or you may just be tempted with these little green candles and red ones. Need a lot of volume flow. We did have 250,000 here, but only 100,000 now. So far, nothing really promising, nothing set in stone. Nothing meeting the strategy that I like to see. We did have a couple of pullbacks. We did have one that jumped up for 30 cents, possibly. But it failed to break through. This is one of those I shouldn't have got in. That's doing nothing. Which way is it going to go? All right, it's giving me a little hope now. It's looking really good, though. The price is above the 5 EMA. We are getting spike arrows. They're little spikes, but they're still spikes. Still need that retest to 731. It's not a good scalping stock. It's taking too long to get anywhere. You could make some money off of it if you get lucky. One of those stocks where you finally decide to get in and it goes down. SVFD. I should have stuck with it earlier. Said it was channeling. It's going to break out one way or the other. Now it's retesting 632. That's a good sign. We could bounce from 632 to 741. This would be the second pullback, so it's not a bad pullback. Let's see if we get the bounce here. We do not want it to close below 632. Almost 1 million shares traded on that last candle. Let's see if we get the bounce. Spread is pretty low. Sellers are dropping off. Not seeing a lot of buyers coming in. We're back to supporting 632. We were bouncing off of it as resistance earlier. Now we're on top of it as support. We're still on top of it. Not going to give up till we break down below it. Like to see that green volume line turn up. SVFD trying to come up off that 632. Still holding above it. Going to hang on to it till we break through. Either going up or down. Me too. I think it's going to go down. If this candle closes below 632, it's probably over. ALT is running up. It's at the top of the high flyers list. Yeah, I think it's over for SVFD. Not to say that it won't spring back up when I'm not watching it. ALT's at a high. Mike, there's a link to the Discord right there in the chat. I just posted it for you. So I want you to see the swing trade. Let me switch over real quick. It's interesting. I'm telling you, it's going to work. How's that for a pretty picture? Did you trade those arrows? So I did program it not to give us an up arrow until it's above the 34. That means we're trending up. The problem is it's not going to give you a down arrow unless it's below the 34. But I think you can visually see what you need to do. Because the safest play is to have an arrow above the 34 if you plan on playing the trend upwards. If you plan on playing the trend downwards, to get the arrows when it's below the 34. Because the overall trend is coming up. You can see that in the 34. So if you get an arrow on a swing trade and you play it, I mean, you could get out without waiting on it to drop below the 34, especially if it gives you a run like that. That's probably 80 cents. I agree, Marilyn. In this case, it took out almost a candle and a half. But we are in an uptrend. So that brings to question, is it going to continue? So I think once we get a green arrow above the 34, we concentrate down here. And if you see this turn up right here, you get out. That's back to the watching the red after you're in the trade and hoping that the red sellers don't start rising. Nice run up for ZVSA. Thank you, Skits, for pulling that one out. It is in my high flyers, number one in high flyers. Not going to beat this scan right here, I'm telling you. I'm going to call this one number one always, then number two. Not a lot of volume in this stock. Still going on ZVSA on low volume. That's been this entire market for over a year. It's been a low volume market unless a stock was spiking. Other than that, hardly trading. I bet this has been the year of the consolidating squeezes. Thank you, Scott. Looks like we halted maybe. I'm not seeing any activity whatsoever. My numbers are still moving, so I know I'm not frozen, but it's not changing at all here. So that's three of our stocks went into a halt this morning. SVFD did not recover. It continued to sell off. ALT is now pulling back. It's nice not to have to go look for stocks when they all pop up in your list. They populate for you. Once you learn what's going on here, if you really put me on the back burner and start concentrating on what you've learned, you're going to make a profit. You got to remember, I'm focusing on keeping everybody full of information, so I miss some stocks. I also miss a lot of them trading because I'm explaining something. But once you get it, apply it. Turn me down low like background music and get with it. Have a good one, Dusty. God bless. Thank you, James L. You have a good one as well. AAMC, didn't see you till late. Like I said, I'm always talking, missing things. Could be a pullback. Kind of a weak one, though. It's too many red candles, really. Very low volume. This is not even a pullback. This is a no play. Even the last candle, only 4,000. You got to really watch what you're doing. You don't want to get caught in stuff like this. Joe, I'm not calling them out. They're actually popping up here in this volume spike indicator. Let me go back to V4, what you guys are used to, so I don't confuse you here trying to demonstrate another one. Not going to come out for a while anyway. That's what you're used to seeing. You're welcome, Gordon. You're welcome, JC. CHSN is all over the place. It popped in right when it was making this candle bounce right here. Very volatile, just in that one candle, and that's a 1 minute candle bouncing up and down. That's a 80-cent one candle from top to bottom. Talk about volatility. ALT trying to bounce back up. Still low volume. Last candle was pretty good, though. 500,000 almost. ZVSA over for that one. ALT still bouncing around. GTHX. Hardly any volume. BITF. We're getting very low on volume now. It's probably going to sit, hurry up, wait. Maybe something will happen kind of day. Not as impressive as a morning I would like, but not bad. Some of you made money. See you later, Domingo. God bless. Hopefully we'll get a better one tomorrow, but you got to keep in mind tomorrow's Friday. Fridays aren't so good. We did have a good last Friday, but Fridays are known to take profit day, go back to cash before Monday. Yeah, 2 days in a row is not bad. But we need 2 stocks every day in a row. And we'll all be happy. The greatest part is we know which ones are moving as soon as they start moving. That's the greatest part. TFC, $34 stock, been creeping up since $8.40. Steadily creeping up. Not making very much progress, but it's creeping up from 34 to 34.27. No, from 33.63 to 34. About 60 cents. Not bad. But I don't hang on to stocks this long. That's like 45 minutes, hour. So ALT made it down here. So let's take a look at some high flyer stocks. I know they're not spiking, but let's just look at them. They all have promising plays in them. No matter where I click, that one not so good. That one not so good, but they are recovering. So you could monitor this scan. What I do is I wait on these 2 positions, number 1 or number 2. And if you see the volume increase, it's pretty much get in, get a quick profit, get out. But only in these 2 positions. You can see it's going up. And CLSK, it's been moving for a couple of weeks now. So before I get out of here at 9:30, if it's your first time here, I appreciate you joining us this morning. It's always a blessing to have new subscribers and show them what we got going on. It's the real deal. Come here and learn with us. Have your coffee, eat your lunch, eat your dinner, lay in the bed and watch us. I don't know what your time zone is, but we've got some good things going on here. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's the main thing. I'm giving everything away, okay? I'm paying it forward. I'm helping people out. I'm a coder myself. I've came up with some really good coding scripts. They'll lead you in the right direction, especially if you come here and listen to me repeat it over and over and over. Just ask my wife. She's getting frustrated with it, but that's fine. She knows what I got to do. And I'm sure your spouses in the background are probably telling you to turn it down, but it's for the good. They just got to deal with it. We love them too, but we got to do what we got to do. So join my YouTube channel. Watch the older videos and the newer videos. You're going to learn information off of all of them. Watch the commercials. I may earn 3 or 4 cents, and it really helps me out if you participate. Also, join our Discord. You can find that link below every video. You can chat with a lot of investors over there now, and we're growing by 40 to 60 to 80 a day. Everybody's helping each other out. Once you catch on to everything, you can help out as well. If you want to answer support questions, feel free to do so. If you know the answer, There's not one man running this thing. It's everybody. We're all participating. We're all getting it going. We're all benefiting from it. So we need you to join us. Pay it forward. Tell your friends. Tell investors that you know. At least come take a look. Visit the channels on our Discord. Don't forget about our trading floor and our options trader channel. If you want to chat with me directly, you can direct message me as soon as I'm available. I'll respond to your direct message. Be aware of the hackers that we have on board. Don't participate. Right-click their name and click block. If you respond, they're going to stay there every day and be on you. Do not respond. Click them off. Block them. I appreciate everyone that joined us this morning. I'll hang in here for another 10 minutes to see what happens. It's been real. Let's keep it that way. Keep it organized. Keep it clean. And move forward. Chewy moving here. Looks like the market's turning around. The SPY is gapping up. We're getting a few stocks moving up. If you load this setup, go explore our scans. You're going to see that we were telling you the truth this morning. You need multiple monitors to watch all of them. They're all good. Just got to focus in on one that makes you money, or two, or three, or four. See you later, Hamrick. God bless you. Scott Drummer, in answer to your question, I just wait for these two to take off. If it looks good, I just click buy. These are not pullback plays. They are just high flyers. So what this scan is doing, the moving averages are in the proper order. So the 5 is above the 13 is above the 21, the 21 is above the 34, the 34 is above the 50. So the moving averages are stacked in the proper direction or order. That tells me the stock is trending up, and that's trending up, high flyers, right? So then you're going to see stocks that are wavy, swinging, moving up most of the day. Just try to catch the bottoms and play the swings. Usually if I see one pop up in this one list and it's really got a strong volume spike, I'll just buy it as fast as I can get to that buy button. It's very risky to do that. I'm an experienced trader. You may want to practice it first. But if you just catch it at the first bullish volume spike, you can catch something off of it. And if you can buy enough shares, it can be a good sized profit. So position 1 or 2, volume spikes, if you're a beginner, watch them for a while. Okay, he said buy that one immediately, but don't do that. Click it first. If my words come true, then you know I was telling you the truth. Probably won't happen on every one, but I bet you it happens on the majority. That's been the whole percentage of this whole setup. The percentages are really high of your success once you learn it. The market's really not been cooperating like I would like it to cooperate. This is going to be way different market when we switch around to a bull market. If we can switch around to a bull market, we may be picking through the fallers for a while, like another 11 months. But if we can get the market to swing or at least reverse for a day or a month, we'll be buying 2 or 3 or 4 at a time, not waiting for one to pop up. This is actually a bull market setup, but we're making money in a bear market with it. Good job, Marilyn. Tell them, Marilyn, you got to put me on the back burner once you learn. Even though y'all say my voice is addicting, that's not the point here. And I appreciate the compliment. But once you learn, start making money. That's what brings joy, not listening to me. I may be joy at first, but then I become a friend afterwards. Learn the course, and it's not even a course, it's a demonstration. Don't worry about how the indicators work. I have so many people post code, my code back to me. What does this do? Well, are you a coder? Well, no. Well, how am I going to explain it to you? Well, I want to know how it works. We'll go learn coding. See you later, Mr. Rodriguez. Have a good one, brother. Yeah, maybe I'll send them back to the anxiety video, Joel. Here, watch this. I freaked a lot of people out with that one. If you haven't seen the anxiety video, go look it up and watch it. It'll change the way you trade, that's for sure. Marilyn, my wife does that to me too. She mutes me. Scott, these things work whenever you turn them on. It doesn't necessarily have to be daily or minutely, or you can use any time frame that you want, but just play it. Once you settle in on a time frame, paper trade it till you figure out how it's working. And if it's profitable on a daily, then go for it. If you're going to do daily, I highly suggest you use the trend chaser indicator. It's going to give you one up and one down. Not multiple arrows. It's for daily. And it's called trend chaser. And what it does is it pulls out reversals. So it's not going to get you in and get you out 2 candles later. If it tells you to get in, it's kind of like hold it. And it'll give you a candle later to get out. But like any trading, if it tells you to get in and you get out and you start going negative, you have to cut the losses. But they don't happen very often on the trend chaser. It does a really good job, just like the rest of these indicators. Thank you, Lance. Very much appreciated for your contribution. Helps us keep things rolling. And God bless you. It's not, Joel. Joe, go watch it and report back to me tomorrow. I want to know your thoughts. All right, guys, I really appreciate you joining us today. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I'm going to get out of here. I may concentrate on trading for about an hour, and then I'll give up as usual. Now that I don't have any coding to do, maybe I'll go do something with the wife. She might like that. I'll get her in the car and talk about stocks everywhere we go, and she'll hate that part. No, I don't put her through the pain. God bless you. Be careful in your trading. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.